Hi Practicum. Let's talk a little bit about week 10. We've got a lot of students that are going to be out at the NAI conference this week, so they will not have any SWES requirements. And it also means for the environmental education interpretation majors, they will be out one day next week instead of two. So if we start and we look at Monday, we've got Lindsay, Karen, and Lindsay still coming out. We're going to meet out at 9:30 a.m. The only program that's going to be happening is a charter school program that Karen will be leading for the first and second graders. So Lindsay will be doing a evaluation and assessment of that teaching, and they'll do an observation that day. We may have some projects doing some trail work in the afternoon, and then we'll be done with the day. I'll talk a little bit at the end of the video about themes for all of the programs, Karen. Tuesday, same thing. Matt and Emily are going to be the only ones coming out, and Emily will provide a program for doing a lesson plan for the third through fifth graders. So you're going to submit that to Jordan, and we'll may have some projects in the afternoon. Then we have for the EEI majors, you guys are either going to be coming out to SWES or you're going to be assisting with an after-school program next week and in the future weeks to follow. So if you don't get a chance to do it next week, you'll be doing it a later week in November. We're starting with Roxy assisting Linda with the Amherst after-school program. So Roxy, there'll be a separate vehicle for you to drive out in the afternoon to meet Linda at SWES at 2:30, and you will go to Amherst to assist her with the after-school program. There will be a reflection anytime anybody does an after-school program. There is going to be a reflection to do on D2L, and I want you to pause this for a second. Go to D2L and you'll find a discussion board called After School Programs. So you're going to click on that, Roxy, and you're going to basically do a 500 word or more essay reflection on the after school program itself. You might want to talk a little bit about how does environmental ed fit into an after-school program? How does it differ from the environmental ed that we do out at SWES? And what differences, similarities do you see in after-school programming versus nature center slash field station programming? So Roxy's going to be the first one to get a chance to do that on Tuesday. Wednesday, we will have Hillary coming out, driving herself out to do an after-school program. I'll be doing one as well. Hillary, you're going to have the pre-K and kindergartners. You're going to submit your lesson plan to me. And Christopher, your role for next week is going to be assisting Linda with the after-school program right in Stevens Point or in Plover. So there's no car provided for that. You'll just meet Linda at the Plover Boys and Girls Club site, and you're going to want to meet her. I think I have an email on that. Chris, you're just going to meet Linda at the Plover Boys and Girls Club at 4 o'clock for the after-school program, and then you'll go to D2L and you'll also do a reflection paper on that. Thursday we have the Washington Elementary School coming out here, a lot of fifth graders, and it is a different Scott Johnson. It's a teacher, not our Scott Johnson, so just so you know. And it's going to be Rick, Alec, Sam, Shane, and Katie coming out here to meet and work with Jordan. And Rick, you're going to be doing a nature study program for the pre-K kindergartners. So follow up on this video to see what the topic is going to be. You're going to submit your lesson plan to me. And Shane and Sam, you're going to be doing pond study with the fifth graders, while Alec and Katie are doing tree identification with the fifth graders. You'll see that later in the day that Jordan's leading the Web of Life activity, and there'll be different times during the day where either Katie and Sam or Shane and Alec can assist with that. So it'll be a bigger group, but that'll work better for Jordan to have more numbers to play that game. It's a pretty short time frame to play that game. And we will also may need to change where the tree ID trails are, just so they don't interfere with the Web of Life game. And we can make the boundaries slightly smaller for that game too. So that'll be something to discuss at the morning meeting, but we may want to think about moving the tree ID trails a little bit. So Alec and Katie and Shane and Alec, Shane, Katie will all have a lesson prep to do, and you're going to submit those to various people. Alec and Katie to me, and Shane to Jordan, and Yeah, that way we should be totally. Oh, and Sam, sorry, Sam, you're also send yours to Jordan. I knew I was missing someone there. So you'll submit those and teach those next week. That'll be the one day that you're out here. Friday we'll have Courtney driving Diana and Megan out, and we're meeting again out at 9:30.
Lindsay to Tom.
Sorry, too many distractions. Where were we? Talking about Friday. Diana's going to do a lesson plan
Lindsay,
for
can you
the
repeat that?
third through fifth graders, and you're going to submit that to Jordan. And then we may have some projects, and then we'll wrap up the day. So, themes for charter school programs. Karen and myself will be doing a program for the first and second graders, and Emily and Diana are doing something for the third through fifth graders. And the overall theme for November, because we're getting into harvest and we're talking about cultures, is Native Americans. So, what I'd like you to do is just sort of take what we've got from our Native American lesson plan and teach a little bit of that along with a lot of the games from the Native Americans lessons. So, Karen, I'm going to need you to send me a lesson plan that has some of that, and then I'm going to follow up on some of the other games and activities that you didn't do. So I might think you might talk about a few tribes, or you might do myths, or maybe I'll do myths and you'll play some games and I'll play different games. You've got to choose what you want so I can pick out the rest. Same with Emily and Diana. I want you guys to both go over the theme of Native Americans in general. You can use the SWES Native American Lesson Plan for assistance with that too. But that means you're going to need to communicate about what you're covering. If you're going to talk about specific tribes or play specific games, you're going to need to let the other person know so they don't cover that information. So Emily, since you're doing yours on Tuesday, you might want to just plan a little bit and CC me in on an email to Diana that's saying like, I'm planning on doing this, talking about these tribes or this part of the history, and or I'm going to do the myths activity and what games you're going to play that are in that lesson plan. But you're free to expand upon that and do your own thing too. And then Diana, you can, using that, can then go do your own thing a little bit. For the kindergarteners, the pre-K and kindergarten programs, it looks like Hillary's going to be doing one of those, and Rick is going to be doing one of those. I want you to, again, use that same theme, but simplify it even more. It may just be a few basic games that you play with them. You can take out of the Native American lesson plan, and then plan on doing like a walk with them, maybe walking along a long trail, and plan on reading them a story or doing some sort of song to have some sort of circle time with the students. So circle time with the kids is when you have them all sitting down and they're engaged in learning something. It might be a repeat after me song. It might be that you read a poem and they're repeating lines of it. It might be that you're passing around objects. You could pass around corn and talk a little bit about corn and how it feels and the shape and the texture. And then after that you might play corncob darts, which is a Native American game. So I'm going to need the two of you to email me and tell me specifics of what you might want to do and make sure there's no repetition. But even with that age level, it's okay if there's a little bit of repetition in the activities that they're doing, because really it's just engaging them in activities. And I think a hike can be a big part of that, but there should be a little bit of content in terms of talking about shape or texture, and maybe bringing in Native Americans a little bit and bring the games down to their bare bones. I think they could play corncob darts. That would be a good one for them. And there's other games too that they could play from that lesson plan. So that's the plan for next week. If you're doing the after school program, remember to do your reflection on D2L. Otherwise, so I may not see you, but email me if you have any questions. Thanks. Have a good day.